Good morning, Victor. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And you?
I'm doing great. We got a murky day here in the Northeast, but some green on the screen, so we're happy.
Yes.
For those listeners out there, my name is Patrick Mullen. I'm the head of sales and marketing at Timber Point. I'm here with Victor Canto, who is our economic consultant, for another episode of VicTalk, which is episodic short form video, speaking on commentary on topics of the day. Today, Victor, we excerpted an article that you wrote on Bidenomics and the Build Back Better framework. We put that on the Timber Point website. It also can be found on your website at La Jolla Economics, but thought we'd just start with getting your thoughts on what exactly you mean when you talk about Bidenomics.
Well, basically, Bidenomics refer to the Biden administration economic program and the various components on how they plan to stimulate the economy and generate economic growth, higher employment and higher wages and higher economic well-being for the society as a whole, which is a laudable goal and it's a well-intended policy. I just disagree with the implementation, the basic assumptions behind it.
So, yeah, I was just going to get into that. So the assumptions that you disagree with are, the impact on aggregate demand as well as disincentive effects that impact aggregate supply. Maybe you want to get into that a little more deeply.
Sure. The basic idea behind Build Back Better is that increasing government spending leads to an increase in aggregate demand. And that is a fairly straightforward, standard Keynesian economic argument that, and the policy implication is also very straightforward. The conclusion is all you need to do is spend, spend, spend. And that is what the Biden administration has done and proposed, to increase spending dramatically in an effort to stimulate the economy. The question is whether it will work or not. I have some reservations about it for a number of reasons. One is, let me give you one simple example. You might very well stimulate aggregate demand, but if you shut down the economy, as we did during the pandemic, and there is no supply forthcoming, it doesn't matter how much you spend. There is no way to increase production if there is no supply. So you also need to focus on the supply side of the equation. And on this side, I believe that the policies of the administrations are lacking. I'll give you 3 examples on how people respond to incentives and will have adverse effect. Number 1, if you look at this unemployment, it turns out that the states that did not close down or shut down as much as the state that shut down a lot have a lower unemployment rate, which suggests that the regulation associated with the shutdown slowed down the employment and growth of those regions. Number 2, you have a huge migration from the high tax state to the low tax state. Again, that means that people do respond to incentives and they move to maximize their after-tax income. And the final one I'd like to point out is the $300 a week supplemental unemployment benefit. If you notice, what happened when some people were making more money by not working than working. Guess what they did? They behaved rationally, they chose not to work. When that supplement ended in September, guess what happened to the employment numbers in October, reported in November? Well, the employment number rose by $500,000, 500,000, which was a large number and a surprise number that people were not forecasting. But I argue that was a one-time effect. Once that those people join the labor force, there is no more people forthcoming, and that explains why the most recent number was kind of disappointing. It was only 200,000 people when the forecasters were expecting a larger number. And these 2 numbers are very instructive because they point out to something that a lot of the forecasters were missing. When they saw the 500,000 employment number, they said, oh, the economy is roaring, things are going great. But we argued that it was a one-time event, and we in fact argued that the economy is slowing down. And in fact, that's what the most recent numbers show. I believe that we're slowing down to a secular trend, about 2% or slightly less. 2% GDP growth.
Right. So it sounds like you're thinking we're heading back to the new normal, which isn't so new anymore.
Exactly. You know, in fact, yes, we are, because we're applying the same policies, you know, and we joke around, you know, what is the definition of insanity?
Right.
The definition
Doing
of
the same thing.
insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We're doing the same policies that were adopted during the Obama-Biden administration.
Right. All right. Well, Victor, thank you for your thoughts on that. We'll leave it at that. These are supposed to be short in nature. And so people, if you'd like to read the article in its excerpted form, you can go to the Timber Point website, or longer form and contact Victor at lajoyaeconomics.com. Have a great day, Victor.
You too.
Take care.
And thanks
Bye.
for having me. Bye.
You bet. All right. That's great. I think that was the best one yet. So hopefully that's going to work out perfectly, and we'll get it out today.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Talk to you in a little bit. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.